What's up, gamers? Hi, Guardians, and hello, Internet. Welcome to another Sloop Gaming video, and welcome to another Tuesday, which in the world of Destiny is Reset Day. We have some big updates today. We have update 7.3.5.3, short and sweet. We'll give that a read. And we also have the Into the Light dev stream number 2, all of which we'll get our reaction to and break down. So, without further ado, let's have a look. Destiny 2 update 7.3.5.3 by the Destiny 2 dev team. Activities in the Crucible. With the competitive playlist, fix an issue where Artifice armor could drop on match victory prior to completing the Tier 3 competitive weekly challenge. In Trials of Osiris, fix an issue where Trials weapons were not glowing. For gameplay and investment, on mods, reserved chest mods no longer work in Crucible. And in general, fix an issue that caused skimmers to move faster than intended when repeatedly pressing boost. And there you have it, Destiny 2 update 7.3.5.3, short and sweet. How do you feel about these fixes? Anything else going on that's impacting you or what you heard inside the community? As always, let us know in the comments below. All right, well, next up is the developer live stream number 2 for Into the Light. Let's take a look.
Hello, everyone. Good morning, good evening, good day, and good time zone to you all. And welcome back to our second of 3 live streams to go ahead and talk about what's going to be coming with Destiny 2 Into the Light on April 9th. As a reminder, everything you're about to see is available to all players, just as was everything last week when we went ahead and had a chance to go ahead and walk through Onslaught. Now, today we've obviously got a few topics that we touched on last week. We got a new social space to go ahead and check out. We're going to look at some rewards, obviously, and maybe an up-close and personal look at the Brave Arsenal. But of course, I'm not the only one who's going to be talking through it. I'm joined by an all-star cast of folks here from the Bungie development team, and I'm going to go ahead and go on down the line and introduce them. If you were here last week, you obviously recognize his face, but Tom Farnsworth, Senior Design Lead, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, yeah. And, a little bit about myself here. I've been at Bungie for about 12 years, maybe a little longer. It's been a while.
A decade plus.
And obviously there's some stuff we're going to be looking at today that's kind of like full circle.
Yeah.
With, the Space Tiger logo and Into the Light there from the early days of Destiny. And I've been fortunate to, I was able to place the Kavastov way back in Cosmo for y'all to pick up.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, that was something. Obviously, it was
foundation.
Teams are stronger than heroes is a big team effort, but there's a few things that I'm really having had a chance to work and proud to interact with players. And then there's some things I'm a little more infamous for, like placing the drop pods in Homecoming.
So follow him on Twitter, let him know how you thought about that, right?
And then over the past few years, I've been working on seasons and things like the 30th and Into the Light as a creative lead.
Awesome. Very cool. Thank you very much for your hard work. As someone who's played a lot of it, excited to go ahead and dive in more with even more of it today. And of course, also we're joined by Chris Proctor, Senior Design Lead here at Bungie. Chris, for the fine folks at home who may not have heard you on a podcast or know anything about you, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do here at Bungie?
Yeah, hey Andy, thanks. I joined Bungie 4.5 years ago as weapons feature lead for Destiny 2. So a bunch of Destiny releases. This will be my 17th with Into the Light.
That all?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going through like a bunch of greatest hits.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be cool. We obviously have a lot of stuff to talk through with the Brave Arsenal today, and greatest hits, I think, is probably the best way to describe it. And of course, last but very not least, down at the end, the one and only Kelsey Rice, systems designer here at Bungie. Kelsey, how you doing today?
Hello, I'm doing great.
All right, well, obviously the third verse, same as the second and the first. For the folks at home who may not know you or know anything about your work, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do here at Bungie?
Yes, I'd love to. First, yes, I'm a systems designer at Bungie. I've been here for about 2.5 years, and I work on a lot of fun stuff like quests and pursuits and progressions, a lot of like spreadsheet design, which I really love.
The fabric that holds all of our adventures together, honestly.
Yes.
Very exciting. Well, obviously you've had a big hand Into the Light as well today. We're going to go ahead and dive into that here in just a bit. But before we go ahead and dive on, is there anything you guys are excited about today in particular, or should we just go ahead and show rather than just tell? What do you think? Show it is. Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and dive on in. Dive on in, rather. So we're going to start off. We have a brand new social space, the Hall of Champions, that we're going to go ahead and check on out. Kelsey, Kelsey's the one who's responsible for taking us through that. So shall you return to the throne world, obviously, and dive on in?
Bring me your tithes.
Perfect. Excellent. That's right. There are tithes to be gathered. Now, while we're on the way, Tom, Hall of Champions is a brand new social space here in Destiny 2. Where is this? Where are we going to, where's this place been? Why are we checking it out now?
So Shax has carved out just a little bit of the backstage of the tower.
Yeah.
And you're going to see a few little fun nods here to Destiny history.
Yep. All right, we're looking at it now on screen.
Yeah, we've got Kelsey on screen here. We got SweepyBot, and this is actually the lead up to the Hall of Champions.
This is where they keep it all the time.
Yeah, this is what, there's an off season for a lot of the holiday events.
Yeah, little pile of snow.
And yeah, there's a little snow there. There's some greenery.
This is interesting. All right, so we found a bit of the storage room to a degree. So he's carved out space maybe that has been hiding in plain view potentially for other sweeper bots or red jacks around the tower.
And there's some stuff from the ONSLAUGHT, this ADU.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Some little
Noah put it here himself.
Yeah. No, and all this space. Like if we just take a step forward, you're gonna there we go. Here's the Champions Hall.
The
Hall of Champions.
All right, so this is the Hall of Champions.
And just like Zur kind of carved out Eternity for the 30th anniversary, Shax has kind of set this space aside for us and into the light, where all your armor, your weapons, your rewards. This is going to be your home base.
See that? Attune, the
Awesome. All right,
recluse.
well, Kelsey, can you go ahead and show us a little bit? We're going to go ahead and walk up here. We see a whole bevy of chests, actually. Let's go ahead and start there. What are we looking at, and how do we go ahead and start cracking these open, rather?
Yeah, so as you can see, this space is just full of chests. As you can see here, all the class icons on the floor, a little bit like 30th. You can come here to redeem this currency, trophies of bravery, that you're going to earn from completing Onslaught and from playing the broad game in Destiny. So all of these trophies here, if you progress your hype with Shax, you'll be able to spend them here at all these chests to get a really cool set of armor. I can pull open my character so you can see what that looks
But
like.
is it instantly
Also, too, so for the
transmoggable?
folks at home, we went ahead and mentioned this as well online, but as a quick reminder, this is actually an armor set that's inspired by year 1 of Destiny 2.
It looks cool.
This is the parade armor set, I believe is what we're referring to it as.
So like it's the D2 year 1 parade armor.
That's right. Yeah.
You had it in Homecoming. It's kind of a classic set. We're again like full circle here with we were like beginning the Destiny 2 saga there, and now we're kind of ending the fight here. We're getting ready to take the fight to the Witness, and Shax has got this iconic set of armor. We're calling it the Parade Armor 2.0.
Yeah.
And everyone can earn it. It's available to all players. And there's some other cosmetics we can show off.
Hey, there's Shaxy Poo.
Very nice. And also too, for folks out there, we have the Hunter here. Actually, Kelsey, can we check out the armor set one more time?
Yeah.
For the folks at home. Also too, so this is an up close and personal look, obviously, at this armor set, which will be available to everyone that goes ahead and jumps into the light. Also too, there's a Titan set and a Warlock set. We should also say that you can go ahead and see in the key
Gotta
art
get
as
that
well,
resilience
but
up,
obviously this will be
though.
arriving on April 9th, so you'll get a chance to go ahead and go hands on. It's looking fresh, honestly. I wouldn't be upset to go ahead and don that armor.
A tier 2 Resil. I don't know how well you're gonna fare in the end game, Chelsea, with that loadout.
Only being able to equip it in game was just such a cool experience.
Yeah, honestly. All right, so we're obviously equipped. We've got an armor set that we're going to go ahead and be chasing down, but we're now hanging out with Shax, and is that our site over there as well?
Yes, that is our site. And one last chest I want to point out here.
Oh,
too.
please.
This one is going to be your hub for just grinding out weapons. So those trophies that you'll be collecting with Shax, you can just keep redeeming them here, and you'll be able to get all your guns here. And this one here is, we're bringing back the Gift of the Thunder Gods. So if you need to catch up on your power level to make sure that you're like ready to hop right in, that's something you can do as well.
That was really cool what they did, the Gift to the Thunder Gods chest.
So if you've got any friends
And I think it really pointed people in the right direction as far as like those that are very new to Destiny 2 or new to build crafting. Like, here's all the tools you need to do like your arc-themed build, right?
So let's go ahead and talk to
And
Shax,
then,
actually,
people that aren't used to like theory crafting, build crafting, I think it was good to, give them the tools and like the foundation that they can start creating their own builds and theory crafting themselves.
Shax has opened up his brave arsenal for us. As you can see, Shax is really like the shining star of this area. I've been kind of panning by all these hollow Shaxes that line the space, which I'll be happy to talk about in a moment.
Oh yes.
The room's pretty impressive.
Let's go talk to him and see what he's got. So over the course of Into the Light, as you earn reputation with him, you're going to be able to progress and get all this cool stuff. One thing in particular I want to point out
Interesting.
This key.
A super black key. Is that what I'm seeing over there, Kelsey?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, and I wonder where that goes.
So maybe people that are D1 vets potentially from back in the day might remember this. Is this what's this symbiote we're looking back here?
Yeah, right now it's pretty powerful. It's in containment, but if you keep playing into the light, you'll be able to get access to the keys you need to unlock this and get access to the shader.
Oh, it's so good. All right. So obviously, too, yes, as a reminder, heads up to everyone. So one of the ultimate rewards available through this will indeed be the return of the super black shader. It's back. Finally, it's back. There's probably some song lyrics along with that. I couldn't tell you what they are. But I will say to the Destiny Fashion subreddit, we are prepared for you to go ahead and take this on wholesale. So actually, let's go ahead and take a look.
It's taking this long to bring it back.
And give it a look really quickly. Oh man.
Honestly, I like the old shader system.
It does not get much better than that.
At least with the old shader system, you knew what you were getting.
Right.
Yeah.
The
So
way
Shax is
like
obviously
the
gonna be there to help
palettes
us
are
get
set
rewards. In
up,
addition to the Brave Arsenal and the armor,
it's
Super Black is waiting
sometimes
for
it's
us.
just a coin flip.
So tell us a little
If
bit about
the
our site as
colors
well,
are
actually.
going to be
I'm not sure if
representative
many
of what's
people
in the
chat know about him.
pinwheel that you
Usually lived
see.
in lore entries, but let's go ahead and get a look and see what we're going to be working with him on.
Yeah. So our site has a lot of quests for us, and we did some pretty interesting things, in my opinion, with some of the quests you can pick up from our site. They're going to unlock a couple things. They also have very fun puns that we had a lot of fun working on. So for every single weapon that we're going to be talking about today, there's a corresponding quest. Once you've completed the quest for that weapon, you're going to be able to unlock access to that weapon dropping as rewards. But there's two other really cool things that we can talk about there. One, we have these special limited edition appearances for the Brave Arsenal.
Yeah.
So completing these quests, you're going to get a guaranteed, curated copy of these limited edition weapons.
Excellent.
Which I'm happy to show because they look rad. And you'll unlock attunement, which is something I can talk about in a second.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so let's take a look at some of these.
So here's a look, of course. Obviously, for the folks at
The
home, they may remember this
mountaintop.
one. I get a hunch that chat obviously is getting a little excited, but I know it's so exciting. The mountaintop has returned. So this is a quick look at the mountaintop. Obviously, Chris, we're going to dive in more with the whole Brave Arsenal in a little bit.
Yeah,
but
man.
This is, I believe she touched on
Vorpal
the
auto
limited
load
edition
is going to
versions
be.
of these, the ornaments that exist on there. Can you tell us a little bit about what the limited edition variants of these are that are available over the course of Into the Light?
Sure, yeah. So the Brave Arsenal weapons will drop.
Oh,
from
yeah.
Onslaught, and we're talking a little bit about attunement and whatnot here. There is a low chance that one will drop as a limited edition
Everyone's
variant,
going to be
which
running
comes
Mountaintop
pre-equipped with a
Recluse, man.
super shiny
Everyone.
ornament that's
Yeah.
locked to that weapon.
Everyone.
So the Edge Transit here
Edge
is
Transit!
the limited edition variant. These are kind of exotic levels of fancy.
Yeah.
So you can't apply shaders to the ornaments. You have to
Oh
remove the
my
ornaments.
God! Remember that weapon?
the ornaments
Everything was an
will
Edge
only be
Transit,
available
man.
up
The
until
one thing. I know I'm talking over Chris
Makes sense.
Proctor, but
Race
whatever.
versions will continue to be available.
The funniest
So the
thing I
ultimate,
remember
was there
about Edge
version with the
Transit,
limited
someone
edition on
put
there, but
together
other
like a
than that,
meme,
after the final shape
and
launches,
it was
people will
like
still be
the
able to get these
Guardian
weapons
was
and keep farming
like
for
built out of Edge
That's
Transits,
super cool
and
visuals.
like
They
all
drop
his
with,
armor. When you
double
looked at
person
the
columns,
at
but
his
they don't have
inventory
to
screen, at his character screen,
You've got a great,
all his armor
base
was
weapon, you
Edge
don't need to
Transit, and
just
all
got
of
that.
his weapons were Edge Transit. It was
Makes sense.
hilarious.
Absolutely. All right, we're going to
Because it was true. It was the only. It was the only weapon that would ever drop. You know?
We're glad that you get a chance to go ahead and check it out. But also too, for the folks that want to go ahead and farm these rolls out, Kelsey, I believe you just mentioned attunement. Can you tell us a little bit more about that before we move on?
Yes, I'd love to. So one cool thing that you can do when completing these weapon quests, once they're available at our site, is attune to a weapon. So let's say that there's a weapon you really want to drop. You can bend luck in your favor and make it more likely for that weapon to appear. So for example, I can do that now. Let's do Recluse.
Yeah.
So
Chat seems to be pretty hyped on Recluse.
So if you're looking around, you'll see there's all of these Shaxes everywhere, which we just had an absolute blast working with and coming up with. And once you've unlocked attunement, you can just freely do this at any time. You can change your attunement at any time. You can choose which weapon has a higher chance of dropping. So I'm going to do that now. Okay.
There we go.
Got our thumbs up. We're
Get
good.
the affirmation from Shax, never hurts.
Yeah, Can always use more affirmations from
It never hurts, honestly. He shouts them very effectively, I might add.
Yes. So yeah, at any point, you can just visit another one. I could even just go and, you know, unattune and reattune to my heart's content. Just once you've unlocked it, you can do that at any time.
Awesome.
So yeah, pick your favorites that you want to chase, and you'll have a much higher chance of getting them.
Excellent. All right. Obviously, the Hall of
Okay,
Champions
so that's a
has
good
lot
feature.
in store. There's even more.
That'll
obviously, chat
definitely,
that isn't here, but, we see
deafen
what
the
you're saying, Chad. I
cries
feel
of
the
people like,
electricity in
oh,
the
I
air. should
can't
also
get
note
it.
one
I've been
more thing.
grinding for
You
X
still
amount
go
of
out there and
time.
farm
Well,
with impunity to go
you
ahead and
know,
get the
as
rolls
long
you
as
want
the
ultimately, because
attunement
with the
is
arrival of
coded
the final
for a
shape,
decent
we'll
drop
indeed be
rate,
adding
you should
100
have
more
no
vault slots.
community
So go
complaints
out
there, right?
Grab the rolls, grab 27 edge transits, hold on to them until you get a chance to Google which one has the god roll. All up to you, but we just wanted to let you know that with the arrival of the final shape, you'll be getting 100 more vault slots. So go ahead and dive on in and grab whatever you want to go ahead and chase. Excellent.
Extra 100 vault slots with
I think that's
TFS,
a
huh?
solid tour
Okay.
of the Hall of Champions. I think maybe at this point we go ahead and start diving on in with the Brave Arsenal. Tom, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I'll hop in. Let's go clean out some lost sectors.
There we go. Excellent.
Yeah.
We got some demos to run as well. All right, everyone. So this is as a quick look at the Hall of Champions as well. Now we're going to go ahead and dive on in and look at the Brave Arsenal. Now, Chris, obviously you were intrinsically involved with kind of setting this whole thing up, with building the Brave Arsenal, deciding what was out there.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about, you know, how you guys landed on this iconic set of Destiny weapons for Into the Light?
Yeah, and we all have our own favorite weapons internally, and wanted to make sure that we delivered on a ton of nostalgia for the whole like Destiny 2 weapon set.
Yeah.
If you look on Reddit or Twitter, there are hundreds of weapons that these could be.
Yeah.
We had to narrow it down to 12. It's like we couldn't reasonably fit any more into the activity.
Yeah.
We couldn't necessarily afford to make many more than that.
Here we go.
So it's yeah, a whole set of weapons from across
Black
Destiny's history,
Armory.
a few recent ones.
Blast
most
Furnace,
from-
baby.
From earlier in D2's
Yeah.
history.
So for those who have been terrorized by Blast Furnace and the Crucible, it's back now.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, Tom, let's go ahead and just kind of walk through these. Let's go ahead and take us at a hung jury I see next as well.
Sure, I can just. Do you want me to
Okay,
I'll
let's start
just
with the
mouse
blast.
over them here? Blast Furnace, Hung Jury,
Jury returns as well.
Session.
For anyone that hasn't had a chance to dive into Deep Stone Crypt, they can get their hands on a raid weapon as well.
Yeah, I should just touch on Succession. And there's
Yeah, please.
Forbearance in there as well. But these are fairly recent weapons, but they are, by default, you have to own the release that those raids came out in. So you have to own Beyond Light if you want to get Succession. You have
Right.
to own Witch Queen if you want to get Forbearance.
Yeah.
The Onslaught versions of these weapons, or the Brave Arsenal versions, are available to all players. So you get a taste of what, like, the raw power of a raid weapon.
Yeah. Which honestly, once you get Succession in your hands, suddenly everything feels so alive. Like,
I don't know how I feel about that. Like,
let's see, we
I
also
understand
have- there we
they
go,
don't want to
Midnight
force
Coup, for
people
anyone
to
who watched
buy
last week. Thank you, Noah, as well for going ahead and
previous
showing us off.
expansions to
Midnight Coup
get the
obviously makes a
specific
incredibly triumphant
gun, you know, through
just-
having
actually, can you
that type
adjust it
of
just
raid
so it shows the
access. But
waves in the shader,
like,
Tom?
that's kind of like
There
the
we go,
thing,
there we go.
man.
So
Like,
that
if you
never gets
don't
old, honestly.
do the raid
Harkens
to
back
get the
one of my
gun,
favorite times in the Black Armory.
you know, what's the
All right, so we have
incentive
a
of
full list here. So we've gone
people
over,
doing the
all of them in
raid
the
then?
primary
You know
slot.
what I mean? Other than
Go ahead
just
and move
like,
on down
you know,
to
having
the
fun
green
and doing the
banner
raid.
selection as well. Obviously, Recluse chat, you've all noticed that. We're just as happy that it's back as you are.
I don't know. I don't know where I land right now
Is
as far as offering
Luna's
raid
Howl, of
weapons
course.
with
Actually,
these
in
events.
particular with Luna's Howl, I know we were talking about this a little bit earlier, but you know, these weapons are not necessarily their previous state, just kind of held in stasis, but you guys have brought them forward with new perks. You've kind of done some redesigns as well. With Luna Howls in particular, you were mentioning that the Magnificent Howl perk has undergone a
Like
rework
Luna
as well.
Howl, like there's no
Yeah,
quest,
in
there's
its
no
original
crucible
shipping
pursuit to
form,
get it,
that
so
was
like
way
that
too
makes sense to
strong.
bring it back.
Two-tap a Guardian in
The
PvP,
Midnight
incredibly
Coup,
fast with the pop-up.
you know, we don't have
Yeah,
access to that raid anymore.
we've
That's
brought
in
Luna's Howl
the
forward as a
DCV.
140
So
RPM
okay, you're not bringing,
handgun,
you know,
and
you're
it
not going to
retains
bring
the
back
precision frame, so it's super easy
the
to
raid.
control the recoil. We've
So
also
you're not going to bring back the
redesigned
Leviathan raid.
Magnificent
So
Howl perk.
okay, it
So
makes
that
sense
now
to
lets
bring
you
back
build up stacks
Midnight
of
Coup,
super
but
bullets.
raids that are
A little bit
active
reminiscent of
to have the
Horde,
succession
with
in that
precision
loop pool.
fireballs. And then you
I don't
can
know.
unleash those on Guardians to do massive damage. You can get a two-tap, but it requires a little bit more effort.
Yeah.
And obviously very strong in PvE as well.
Yeah, got to bide your time and actually land those headshots.
Yeah.
I'm saying that mostly to myself in the mirror as I get
I do
upset
like the
for losing
default
another round of trials,
color
but-
scheme, if that's what
So we
that
had,
is. If
two
all
handguns
of
in this
the
release, Midnight Coup
Brave
and
weapons
Luna's
look
Howl.
like that, that's very
We
cool.
assigned those to two different designers.
Yeah.
And there's a competition going on to see which one is more popular or is more effective. So
So everyone out there in chat right now should let us know which one of those two ends up being their
Ooh,
favorite.
explosive
We have an
rounds
actual
and
bet
kinetic
to settle
tremors.
internally here by the sounds
Interesting.
of it. Which one do you think is going to win, Chris?
I'm a little biased.
Little biased?
Like, I have my Midnight Coup from the Leviathan raid still in my vault.
Oh, yeah.
I'm deeply attached to that weapon.
Fair enough. All right.
We'll see.
Let's see here. All right. Also, Elsie's. So actually, here's a cool one as well.
Yeah.
This is no longer the Stranger's rifle. This is Elsie's rifle now.
Yeah, Elsie's no longer a stranger.
That's right. Yeah.
But yeah, this is a really iconic Destiny 1 weapon that everyone who played through the Destiny 1 campaign would have acquired as the Stranger's rifle. It's come forward with as close to its original feel as we could manage, updated for the Destiny 2 sandbox. It's got a ton of cool new traits. It's really very, very strong, high impact pulse rifle. It's running the rewind rounds perk, which we made for Bolt of Glass.
Yeah.
The D2 version, which harks back to the original perks on the Stranger's rifle in D1 as well.
And this one already looks filthy, if I might say, with Zen Moment and Desperado on there. Like
Desperado, yeah.
Did the room get colder, or what just happened, honestly? And also, too, so there's a new, actually, as long as we're there, Tom, if you wouldn't mind actually opening that back up, there's a new Origins trait.
Yeah,
Origin trait, pardon me, as well on these.
Indomitability.
So yeah, the Indomitability trait, final blows with a light subclass equipped grant grenade energy, and with a dark subclass equipped grant melee energy.
Excellent.
So you get like that sort of duality, and they're reasonably strong perks.
Yeah, designed to keep you in the fight either way.
Yep.
Excellent. All right, Tom, let's go ahead and keep checking out. What else do we have in store here? Forbearance as well. So this is you were talking about.
There's the all-black shader, man.
Yeah.
How did you guys go ahead and bring Forbearance forward?
I'll tell you what, it's going to be a bunch of Mountaintop Recluses and all-black shaders for the next 2 months, man.
We wanted to feel like
easy,
but with slightly updated perks. So the perk pools are fairly similar, but with a couple of spicy additions. So you'll notice Disruption Break left column on a waveframe grenade launcher, super, super strong.
Yeah.
It's not something that you get on the original version.
That'd be disgusting.
Yeah, but it's got all of the old classics.
Yeah.
It's got the new.
See, and here's like the Forbearance. You know, that's from Val. That's a Val weapon, man. You know. I don't know. I'm not a fan of active raid weapons being offered with this, reissued with this update.
Look at the.
Oh, let's take a look. There we go. That's, again, the ultimate I was there. As you go ahead and begin your showdown with the Witness with the arrival of the final shape, doesn't hurt to have one of these sitting on your hip, obviously, to go ahead and make a statement the moment you walk into the room.
Yeah, and this one is the curated version. The natural drops of the limited edition variants do have double
perk out? That's right. Yeah. Excellent. And, of course, our beloved Edge Transit.
Yeah,
couldn't keep it away if we wanted to.
When we were looking at the fan favorite weapons, like we wanted to bring forward some of the strongest weapons from Forsaken.
Yeah.
Everybody has like fond memories of blasting away raid bosses with that transit.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. There's amazing memes associated with this weapon.
Yeah.
We actually brought it forward as one of the strongest heavy ammo grenade launchers.
Yeah, I was going to say, we were talking about that earlier. You're saying this one just hits like an absolute ton of bricks now.
Oh yeah, you can see some of the perks there. It's
well, GLs did get buffed, but
this is already looking pretty good.
the reason the community memed on Ed Transit is because you guys coded it to drop across all systems. Was Chelsea working on the systems back then? What did she say when she dropped her bio? How long has she been with Bungie? Maybe she's the one who's responsible for putting the spreadsheet together to have all those Ed Transits drop back in the day.
Yeah. A little bit earlier than we would normally put raid perks onto a new weapon.
Yeah.
And it's like reissuing a Falling Guillotine.
Is that Edge I see on there?
That is an Eager Edge, yeah. It'll only be the second sword outside of 30th anniversary.
Yeah.
Have access to that.
It would basically just be the Slammer and then the Falling Guillotine from. Right. Yeah, that's it. That's actually exciting.
Yeah, and this one has like the classic Void perk combo of Repulsor Brace.
Yeah.
Destabilizing rounds. It's good fun, and a lot of other strong ones.
It just doesn't get old, honestly, yeah.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we're also joined by the Hammerhead. Hammerhead, honestly. It's as long as you're dipping your toe into the world of the Black Armory, this is obviously one that has to come forward.
Everyone's favorite legendary machine gun.
Yeah, seriously.
You can't go past it.
It just, from the sound to the rate of fire, everything about it just is one that lives on in my memories and my dream journals, honestly, at this point.
Yeah.
The scope design is cool.
Fantastic. All right, so we have a whole cast of characters. Now, Tom, you've got some loadouts set up. You've got some lost sectors that you're going to go ahead and start diving in on. I vote you go in there and start tearing it up. So we're already there. Okay, that's fantastic.
A classic Mountaintop Recluse combo here.
Yeah.
And there's some new stuff with Mountaintop too, where you can rocket jump.
That's right. So I'm so glad we got to that point this early, because one of the things that was really cool about sort of seeing this development process behind the scenes was, obviously one of the core tenets was to make sure that you're retaining that classic feel of these weapons and kind of what made them so great to begin with. But you've kind of done some redesigns and expanded even just on the loot pool, or pardon me, on the perk pool rather. How did you guys kind of go about the process of sort of rebuilding these weapons for this modern era of Destiny?
Yeah, I mean, we held off on bringing Mountaintop into the sort of modern Destiny because it was just way too strong in both PvP and in PvE.
Yeah.
In PvP, it was like a pretty unpleasant meta when Mountaintop was part of everyone's loadout, so we definitely didn't want it to be able to one-hit kill, even with a direct hit in PvP anymore.
Fair.
So we've reduced that a little bit.
He doesn't
But we
have
also,
auto-loading on?
Saw how excited people were for the Danger Zone rocket launcher perk, launching you into the air. So we've made that part of the base behavior of the new micro missile frame grenade launcher intrinsic. So you do super low self-damage and give yourself a massive physics impulse.
Yeah. The Team Fortress 2 soldier mains are just suddenly dusting off their rocket launchers in real time right now, obviously. So obviously too is, going ahead and adding just not only to the perk pool, but kind of the intrinsic feel of these weapons. Were there any others in particular when you guys were working on them where you're like, yes, this is how this change needs to go? Like obviously Magnificent Howl got to change, but is there anything else in that pool that feels like it was really kind of a cool leap forward?
I think we could have chose a better lost sector.
Is a good example.
I mean, that's like a farming lost sector right there. You know what I mean? Like you're in and out.
Like everyone would just pick the best scope. Like internally, we felt like the Rasmussen ISA scope was like by far the best. Really, really clean.
Yeah.
And with the changes to damage fall off on weapons, zoom doesn't matter that much anymore anyway.
Yeah.
So it comes pre-equipped with that scope geometry, but it can roll barrels instead. So you get all the benefits of stats.
Oh, awesome.
Stats are already pretty juiced.
Yeah.
But you have that classic scope geo.
Actually, also too, to channel chat one more time, as a quick heads up as well, these weapons, while they won't be craftable, they are going to be enhanceable, is that correct?
Correct, yeah. So these weapons will retroactively be enhanceable when the final shape comes out. So any drops that you get during this initial period, you'll be able to enhance then.
Excellent, okay. So you want to make sure to really hold on to those god rolls that light.gg went ahead and told you about, yeah. All right, so Tom, you've swapped your loadout now? Is this Blast Furnace we see you were?
Yeah, you were just talking about Blast Furnace, so I thought I'd hop over to it.
It's thematic, yeah.
Nice and smooth, like it always was.
Kelsey, actually too, on your side, obviously having this new tapestry of rewards to work with has been pretty exciting. As you kind of went ahead and sort of hatched your plans of how players would go about getting these, kind of what role did these weapons play, I guess, in the overall reward structure?
Yeah, of course. So we wanted the rewards of this release to be all about the weapons.
Yeah.
The shining stars, they're awesome. I saw people were asking a little bit about what we're going to be getting from Onslaught.
Yeah.
There's a lot of chests in there, and every single chest has a weapon in it, and all of those chests can react to attunement. So if you attune to a weapon, anytime you see a chest, it's going to happen. So
excellent.
Every set, not every wave, that'd be crazy. Every set, there's a chest with a weapon in it. If you do it at higher difficulty, there are 2 chests. They both have weapons in them. And if you keep the ADU alive throughout the entirety of Onslaught, there's another bonus chest available. So you can get a lot if you just keep yourself kicking and get all the way through there, keep the ADU up. There's a lot of guns to be had.
So those folks who are going to dive into the Legend 50-wave version of Onslaught are going to be well rewarded for those efforts. I'm asking partially for myself, obviously, as well, and my fire team at home.
As they should be. You go 50 waves in Onslaught, you better be getting the goods, man.
Gives players some control over
you better
the
be
drops that
getting
they
the
get,
goods.
but it retains the excitement of those drops. Like you will get your Blast Furnace dropping from the chest. You don't have to go and focus it or anything like that.
Good,
I
good.
love that.
Actually, also too,
There should be loot, like there should be legitimate loot from the chest instead of like the tokens to go to the vendor and get it. Like I'm not opposed to the whole token system, but you need loot to come out of the chest, Nobody just wants to get a bunch of tokens and go back to the tower or the social space.
I'll put another few 100 hours in Crucible.
I'll be right there with you, honestly. The moment I can put Dead Man's Tail down again, then that will be the one that'll pick up immediately after. Kelsey, also too, is, I know we were talking a little bit earlier, you've been deep into the Onslaught playtests as well. So that means in addition to the Brave Arsenal, you've got everything else at your beck and call. What are some cool builds you've been working on, honestly, to go ahead and really emphasize these new weapons?
Yeah, I've been really enjoying Solar Warlock. I found is really fun in Onslaught because you can find a lane and just completely nuke it if you get your like unlimited grenades going. You can just completely destroy. So I've been really partial to Luna's Howl.
Fair.
Yeah, I tend to get a little feral, a little too excited. Sometimes having like heal clip on it or something can give me that extra staying power I need to keep that ADU up.
It's part of, you got to be in the fight as much as you possibly can. And I say that partially as a Void Hunter who crutches on invisibility and runs away right away. So I understand and respect the hustle that I don't end up having. Also too, we got a question from chat from Lil Camino, I think is how you pronounce the name. My mistake if you didn't get it correct. But just to reiterate, will these weapons be attainable after the final shape arrives?
Yes, the base weapons will be, but the limited edition variants with those sweet ornaments will not.
Excellent. All right. So again, make sure you go ahead and dive on in once Into the Light is here, and make sure you get that
I don't know what
card more or less. At least again, speaking for myself. So also too is I heard you guys mention briefly.
Unless like the jumping ability, the height boost you get from Mountaintop like brings you into an area that you couldn't normally jump to.
From our opinion, like one of our favorites.
There might be some like cheese and exploits that the Mountaintop is going to bring. I don't really see it like
an extremely
it being used tactically in a fight.
Single perfect roll, but you have a reason to go in and get
unless it's like maybe like a meme moment, but I don't really see any like consistent like tactical advantage of being able to shoot at your feet and
remember everyone we were getting
just go up for a brief moment.
Comes out, so go ahead and just farm away. Now's the time. Sorry, Kelsey, were you going to say something more?
Yeah, we also just wanted to make sure people weren't completely at the mercy of RNG when it comes to getting these limited edition variants. So if you log in, you do those quests at our site, you can get one guaranteed copy of a limited edition of each weapon with that curated gold.
Yeah. See, we're getting, again, I think, obviously, Tom is here in the heat of battle, so to speak, but
tell you, Edge Transit's got some good action to it.
So for the folks at home, it's
the fire rate, the reload speed.
Thank you, all right. And that one, can you, again, walk through that origin trait for us one more time?
Yeah, so on Final Blows, it grants you grenade energy if you're running a light subclass.
Oh, here we go, we got it on screen.
That's a cool origin trait.
So yeah, we can be Arc Void or Solo, or melee energy if you're running a darkness subclass, which would be Stasis or Strand.
Got it. Okay, so I can go in there's a stasis main and just throw all the shurikens I possibly have. Yeah, there's a more technical name for that. I'm sorry, I got it wrong out of the gate. All right, let's see here. And also too, actually, we talked kind of at the beginning about what it was like to sort of pare down this list of weapons down to 12. Can you tell us a little bit about that process? I can't imagine it was anywhere near as simple.
12 was a really small number when you're looking at that set of weapons. And if we'd gone by lists on the internet or even internally, could easily have ended up being half hand cannons. We had to restrict ourselves to 2.
Fair.
There were a lot that could easily have made the cut that we just couldn't fit them in.
That's fair. I mean, honestly, though, between Midnight Coup and Luna's Howl, like a very, very solid cast to go ahead and come out of the gate here with.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're really strong. And we definitely wanted to get that spread of experience across the first few years of Destiny 2 as well.
Yeah, honestly. And also, too, is even, recalling all the way back to the Black Armory.
No mention of exotics with Into the Light. No new exotic drops.
So fondly. Again, I think one of the goals here was to go ahead and retain that original feel. You guys went ahead and added in a bunch of new perks. Can you tell us what that process was like in terms of making sure those perks matched up with that feel of the weapon?
Yeah, and in cases where we have multiple weapons in the same archetype shipping, so we've got 2 pulse rifles, 2 hand cannons, we assigned those to different designers and made sure that the roles that they occupy in the sandbox were sufficiently different. We also would look at the most popular roles that the weapons had originally and make sure that those still appear on the weapons. It meant having to redesign some perks, which would be too strong in today's sandbox.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. But yeah, and then introducing, like when you go and you look at a blast furnace in your vault or something, like,
ooh, nice snipes.
Man, I wish I could roll X perk that came out after that, right? And made sure we put a few of those in there as well.
Yeah, and there's also, I'm not sure if we've seen it on screen yet, but there's a new perk that'll be joining this pool as well, won't there?
Yeah, there is. There's in this build, it's called Last Stand. The shipping name is different.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a pretty sweet perk. If we could bring up the description of that when Tom is out of danger.
Which weapon is it on?
There was one. It was on Blast Furnace, I think. Yeah.
Let me get a shot.
Oh, there we go. All right, well, we'll let him defend himself
Yes,
briefly.
yes.
But we do have a couple questions from chat as well. So there's one that asks, Flo's Knuckles, I believe. There we go. Can we grind Onslaught multiple times for multiple drops? I'm assuming this is just go ahead and dive on it and grind to your heart's content.
Yes, you'll be getting weapons every run. You'll also be getting
It's like-
currency from shacks that you can bring back, and you can throw in that chest that I showed you, so you can just keep opening that chest. Just keep going.
Dive on it, honestly. Yeah, go ahead and chase that roll, whatever you want. Also, too, one more quick question.
That's
from
a
chat.
pretty strong perk,
Mega 125358, pardon me, Mega, asks, can you take the limited edition ornament off and put it on another copy of the weapon, or is it just on that one weapon?
So you can remove it. You can't put it on something else.
Cool.
It's locked to the weapon that it dropped on.
Makes sense, yeah. I mean, honestly, when it looks that good, you just gotta go ahead and stick with what you got, you know?
Yeah, if players have a favorite shader that they want to put on a weapon, they can remove it and put the shader on.
Yeah, that's true.
Can't shade the ornament.
You can go ahead and photo finish it up to your heart's content, obviously, that opportunity. Or super black, obviously, when the time arrives. All right, let's see. So, Tom, what are you running right now?
I've just been hopping around with all the weapons here. Now I've got Blast Furnace and LC's rifle on. I know double primary isn't always meta, but
We're gonna make it meta for the sake of this.
they're both
particular last sector.
pretty solid weapons.
For purposes of illustration.
Now here's that new perk that you both were talking about, Last Stand. On
Again, reminder, this
Blast
name will be
Furnace.
changing in the live version.
Yep.
Yeah, so weapon final blows grant bonus damage. Melee and grenade final blows grant a larger damage bonus that can stack. So once you get this perk really rolling, it's very strong.
Yeah.
Sustain it.
Nice way to go ahead and clear out a bunch of red bars and then take down that yellow bar with ease if
Yep.
you go ahead and do everything correctly.
Yeah, it ties nicely into the origin trait as well, because the origin trait grants you energy for your abilities, and then you get bonus damage for getting ability final blows.
Yeah, really creates creates that loop. Honestly, you just become the self-fulfilling prophecy of death at that point, which, as a guardian, is never a bad place to find yourself, frankly. Let's see here. Actually, also too is, you know, I know we touched obviously on Chris's personal favorite being Blast Furnace. Kelsey, was there anything when you saw this land back on the list of the Brave Arsenal where you were like, finally, that one's back?
I was real excited about Linda's Howl.
I mean, that's just smart, honestly. That just makes sense. Tom, how about you? Is there anything in particular that you know, obviously having taken such a big hand in helping design and sort of define all this stuff, you know, what are your favorite weapons and roles that have come out of this?
I'm pretty basic, pretty easy. I really am excited about Recluse and Mountaintop.
Yeah.
Like I just love that combo of being able to like get in close with an SMG and get the damage perk going and feeling really powerful, then being able to switch to the grenade launcher and fire
Yeah,
off
I
some,
think
like,
that's the biggest
little mini
takeaway
rockets
from here
and
is
be able to
just
play
having
around
the
with getting a
Mountaintop
little more
Recluse
airborne.
combo.
is just like, it's just fun.
Everything else is great. You know, they'll find a home in, you know, people's loadouts and in content.
Accidentally
The
blowing myself
lethality
up, but
of
it's a lot
them, I
harder to
think,
do now.
is
Like, I remember
really
Mountaintop
going to
back
be
in the day,
dependent
I would, like, I
upon,
would just, like,
you know, the
shoot my feet on
player
purpose.
and just
And
how
then,
they,
like, it was
you know,
usually,
what your
an
individual
instant
play style
death,
is,
and so you can really
relative to the
you
kit
get a
that
lot more
you're
up close and personal with it.
most
Yeah.
proficient with, you know,
Builds,
and
honestly, I can already see
obviously,
Tom's
you know,
match
what the
with
modifiers are, but
just floating up there. In the
as far as
sky,
just
warlock
like
murdering
weapon
everyone.
combinations, you know, the
Well, that is to
Recluse
say,
Mountaintop
now there's an
was just
opportunity
so
for more than just
coveted.
warlocks to be the floating weapon platforms out there.
I think
Yeah.
more
I know,
because
sorry.
of how difficult it
We can
was to
share.
get both weapons.
We can share the
Right?
abilities.
Particularly
Like
with the redesign
those
of, Manticore.
OG
There's a
Destiny
fun
players
strategy. I don't
that,
know how super effective it
you
is,
know,
but, like,
went
Mountaintop
through
to
the
launch
quest
yourself way up
lines
into
and
the air,
grinded to get those
switch over
weapons.
to Manticore,
Yeah.
and you
It
just
was so
hover around.
arduous.
Just seems
You
like
know,
a
it
fever
wasn't
dream I have,
it wasn't an
honestly.
easy
Also, too,
task.
for the
You
folks at
know,
home
it
that may
wasn't
not have seen the Manticore,
you know,
kind of redesign,
kill
tell us
100
a little bit,
enemies
too,
and
about
boom,
how
here's
the
your loot.
intrinsic perk
You
on that
know,
works
it
now.
was multi-step.
Yeah, so it's the base
Very niche
functionality,
with
the way
some
you
of the
use the weapon is
steps.
fairly similar. We've tightened up,
Borderline, you know, pull
its
your hair
activation,
out
so it will no longer
on some of
activate
the
your weapon downstairs and that kind of
quest
thing, which
steps.
is pretty irritating.
That when
You
you
can
did
also
get
just
it,
deactivate it by
like
holding
there's no
regularly
reason
that
for you to
quick
put it
special
down,
reload
right?
Animation.
And
Before you had to wait
it
for
was
to
just
fire
extremely
or,
strong.
like, switch off the weapon.
And it worked in all
And then
facets. It was
the,
great in the
catalyst,
Crucible
instead of
for
just giving
PvP.
you, damage
It was
resistance,
great
now gives you a void overshield,
in the
which
Oh, nice.
of course also gives you
late
damage
game
resistance, but
raids,
entire
what have you,
builds,
for
in a similar
PV
way.
for
nice, honestly. Yeah,
PvE.
between that, Devour, the whole nine, obviously, there's going to be a lot
That's
of,
what everyone's going to
mobile
be
weapon
grinding for.
As well. It also,
Give me my
decreases
Mountaintop and
enemy accuracy
Recluse,
against you,
and
similar to
anything
the
else is
always on
gravy.
Sparrow, so
Yeah.
you've got a ton more like damage resistance. You've got an overshield, and enemies are missing you all the time. So it's
Now,
combined with being able to launch yourself up into the air.
are they going to be as strong
That's also too actually.
given the
we got a
current
question in the chat
sandbox
that
as they
is,
were back
what's the
then?
difference
Because I'll tell you
between, the
what,
new perk,
if there's
and,
no
Golden
like
Trike,
power
it's not very
fantasy,
similar.
like if you're not feeling
They do
strong
have
running Mountaintop
kind
and
of
Recluse,
similar functionality. The
because
big
this
one is
gameplay
that
doesn't show
the
you
Golden
how
Trike
strong
bonus
they
is
are,
large,
right? This is a
but,
shoot a bunch
doesn't
of red
stack
bars.
once you get it. So,
But,
uptime on,
you know, if it's if you can't like negotiate a
Yep.
champion,
It's not in
right?
this
If you can't
is that
negotiate
the uptime is
an
high.
orange bar or a yellow bar
Makes
elite,
sense. Also,
and,
it's, we got
you know,
another
the
chat as well.
Recluse
Chat question for me, I should say. Will the weapon
Mountaintop
ornaments
has
for
like
Luna's Howl and the Recluse be
nominal
equipable
effect
for the
of
new
doing any
versions of those
damage.
weapons?
Yes,
People
they
are going to
will.
be
Both
rioting,
for the,
you know.
the base versions and for the variants, you can equip any ornaments that you've got. Players have already noticed that some of those are showing up later in the season.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what the Mountaintop
out there that
Recluse
might,
is
go
really
ahead
going to
and
be
check through
used
the
a lot
databases,
with
they might have noticed
is the
something
old
potentially.
bait and switch in the
We
heavy
can't say
slot,
yes or no, but maybe. Firm maybe, certainly.
because that's the gameplay loop with Mountaintop Recluse,
Excellent. All
right?
So we're doing a pretty good job here, Tom. I gotta
Fire
say,
Mountaintop,
it seems like
spray
your race is pretty
away
good
with the
work in these long
Recluse,
sectors.
and then switch to your
It's like
heavy.
he's played them before.
Maybe once or twice.
Bait and
potentially.
switch is
never
procced,
know.
and then you go
It's
nuts,
been a while,
rinse and
though.
repeat.
So Tom, actually also too is, you know, as you've kind of been helping sort of build a lot of what Into the Light is going to be, you know, what was the
And
role
with
that
if
these
in
weapons played? Like, why is
TFS, if
Shaxx
grenade
choosing now
launchers
to go ahead
are
and re-equip us with this particular set
you know,
than
one
it
of
would
the
be?
seasonal
Well, the idea
artifact
is that it's like this
options, which
forbidden
I'm
arsenal,
pretty
right, the
confident
things
they
that
will be,
aren't
then
that we've
Mountaintop
kinda
is
set
going to
aside,
be
at least
in
the
everyone's
Crucible
loadout.
and other spaces, and now in this kind of dire time with our backs against the wall, we need to, you know, kind of set aside those conventions and you know, really take every advantage we can in the fight against the Witness, and kind of like, you know, having players in this moment, you know, with Into the Light, you know, it's a great time to hop in and play if you haven't been playing, or if you want to catch up, and we're going to give you the weapons you need to be ready for the final shape. Like, as long as you show up every week, you do the work, you're going to get like an incredible arsenal.
That's an interesting comment. These are the weapons that you're going to
Also,
need
if
for
you're
the final
like
shape.
looking at
So
some of the,
maybe it's not
meta
the
heavy grenade
actual
launchers,
weapons
just walk in
themselves,
and get
but
edge
maybe
gun
it's the
transit might
archetype
be,
of
like,
weapons that are
competitive already.
offered
Yeah.
uh,
And also,
through
too,
this
I just got
brave
word
release.
from back at home that,
Maybe
also
that's a
Noah
little
is apparently back at
foreshadowing to
home
the
after
archetype
last
of
week's stream,
weapons
in
that are
chat,
going to
cheering everyone
be
on. So if everyone out there wants to give
registering
a quick
on the
EI grade
strong
chat,
side of
now's
the
time.
scale on TFS. Just something to take note of. I could be wrong, but I'm just going by what the devs say. See if they drop any
I really like
any
autoloading those
clues for
on top.
upcoming meta.
Oh yeah.
It's, I mean, I've
feel
got,
strong.
yeah, I've got a Fighting Lion, Pardon Our Dust loadout that obviously hinges pretty heavily on autoloading holster because I never want to stop shooting any grenades. I'm one of those. I'm sorry, everyone. We're getting some love for Noah in the chat. All right, love to see it. So also too, actually, you know, over the course of developing kind of this new reward structure, was there anything about it where you're like, all right, this is the moment, like Onslaught is set up just right. Like, what was it like kind of building this structure for players to go ahead and just reinvest in, I guess?
Yeah. I think when we finally got the loot explosion going, 'cause
Yeah.
there's this whole conversation and how we want it to feel when you open the chest and all this stuff, and all these people working together doing tech stuff to make sure it all worked great and everyone doing their part, and then, you know, finally getting in there and just running through and seeing everything just
Yeah.
like, I guess all of your work just like flying through the air in space was just really satisfying, and it really felt like it was coming together. I'm also really partial to when we start getting more icons and world art coming in. The space really started to feel tangible when Shaxx finally had the guns in his hands in the and all the hollow shaxes for a while. They're just
Sounds a little different.
Did you guys have
No?
that vision of the hollow shaxes like right away? You were like, this is how we want it to be, or was it just, what was the evolution of that space like when you guys were building it?
We got to, it was really fun working with world art and all this stuff. We had a bunch of people in the room, everyone who's dedicated to the space in some capacity, and we were just brainstorming together and laughing and coming up with all these fun ideas. So it was a huge collaborative process, and I think that's what's so magical about working in games, is you get to work with all these people who know all these things that you don't and make something so cool and awesome.
Yeah. Actually, also too, we got one more quick question from chat that caught my eye. Is the Master of Arms perk as powerful as before?
No, it's had to be toned down a little bit.
Fair, yeah.
Yeah, it's still very strong. But yeah, that original version is pretty wild.
Kind of in a league of its own, certainly.
And then the room goes silent.
All right, Tom. So what's your strat right now? Is it basically just Old West gunslinger?
Yeah, I mean,
No, see,
I haven't been having
you
a
needed
chance
to
play with all these
elaborate
guns
on
either.
that, man.
So I'm just having fun over here.
Yeah,
like, you
it's
guys can-
toned
you can
down.
do your
How
stream
how
over there, I'm
toned
just gonna
down is
play.
it? Because if it's tone deaf
Midnight coup here.
to
just-
the
oh, it just feels so
to the difficulty
snappy and crispy. I feel like I just
scale,
gotta
especially in the
point it
end
in the right
game,
direction and it
no,
does a lot of the work.
people are going to be
Explosive
memeing
rounds
on
and
it.
Kinetic tremors, is that what it has? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Like you can just, you don't even really need to be that accurate, I guess, with this roll. I can just kind of shoot around enemies. And
Make
it
them
does-
dance like in the Old West.
Pretty sure this is still the highest aim assist of any legendary hand cannon in the game too.
Oh, is that so?
Yeah.
That's what are some roles, by the way? So obviously, I think they each kind of have their different PvP and PvE flavors. But in the PvE trenches, are there any roles in particular with this new kind of set of perks that you were really caught off guard by or surprised by?
I mean, Firefly Kinetic Tremors is really, really strong. I think that was actually the role that Noah was running last week.
Yeah, he was making it look pretty good,
Yeah,
thankfully.
he's smart.
And Noah's all right at the game, as it turns out.
Yeah. What else? I think the role that we've got here on Edge Transit, which is Cascade Point left column,
Yeah.
being able to just like mag dump
Yeah.
a whole drum grenade launcher, it's really strong.
Yeah.
The burst damage potential is wild.
And also, too, actually, another question from chat. To get the double perk rolls on the weapons, do you have to do higher level onslaughts, or is there a chance for them to drop with double perks in each column regardless?
There is always a chance. Those are the limited edition variants. Yeah.
Yeah. And also, too, just a quick reminder is the quests from from our site, rather. Those ones have a higher chance of giving you.
I'll tell you
one of
this,
those limited
guys.
edition variants, or-
The environmental designs for the Lost Sectors are fucking
those
awesome.
curated ones. So pretty much that's just that's a guarantee that you can
You
get
know,
them, but
I
anytime you
I
get
wish
a
Lost
brave
Sectors
weapon,
were
there's a
more
chance that it will
had more meat to
double
them, I
perks
guess.
and be an awesome appearance on it. So
Very cool.
that was actually a really
I remember
fun
I
thing.
did a
Once
video
you
a
kinda got
while
that
back,
implemented playing for the first time, you just naturally got
and I
one.
still stick
Like,
to
it'd be
this
in a play
claim.
test, like,
Lost
"Oh, I
Sectors
got
are
one, I
like
got
the
one."
training
Edition one.
grounds
It's just a really fun.
It's
for
kinda like,
Guardians.
even just that excitement of like when
right?
you're, out there doing a dungeon farm or whatever the case is. and you're checking
Especially,
through all the guns that are sitting in your
like
mailbox, and
running
you're
like
just
a
"Oh, that
master
initial
Lost
set
Sector.
of rolls is pretty cool, and then you
You know,
click in,
if
you're
you
like,
can
"Wait,
if you can
did this
handle
do exactly what I wanted to be?"
going
Like, that
through a
moment's always
master
pretty
Lost
rewarding, honestly.
Sector, right?
So obviously,
and
yeah,
you're
so, as a
quick
reminder
to take
everyone in
down the
chat, so
champs and
the
deal with the
Brave
ads,
Arsenal will be able to drop from
then
Onslaught
that'll make you
at
more of an
every
asset when you get to
stage.
group
Was it every
play,
10 levels?
whether it be
Yes, every set.
Excellent. Okay,
three
sets,
mans
thank
in
you.
an activity or six mans in a
We have
raid.
the experts here.
But it's a great
All
it's a
right,
great
Tom, what's
classroom
next on the list?
to get
which
ready
Lost
for
Sector
endgame
is going to wield
content.
against your powers.
I think I'm gonna go in.
But just,
I don't know what it's called, but it's on top of the rocks.
But
here, I think,
digressing
right?
a little
That's
bit,
where it's
the
at?
in
I'm
the,
trying
the
to remember.
environmental, just the looks
so
of the
you just
Lost
go ahead and drop
Sectors
on
are
down
really
and-
Oh,
cool.
there it is.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Those fallen aren't going to be safe for long.
Yeah. Can't die from full damage anymore.
It's true. That would. Who could possibly do that? That's what we have the mountaintop to do, or to use for rather to get those kills on ourselves.
Oh, wrong way.
Yeah, where are you going, mate?
And actually, also too, so a lot of questions in chat about the pools of perks that are going to be available, the weapons that are going to be available. You and your team over on the weapons team have also gone ahead and authored a blog that will be hitting Bungie.net tomorrow, I believe.
Yeah, that's going to list out all of the weapons and all of the perks that can appear on them. So
Okay.
no mystery about the perk pools as of tomorrow.
Yeah, excellent. So there will be plenty of opportunities for all the build crafters out there to go ahead and go nuts and kind of imagine their most exciting opportunities, really. Actually, so also too, we've talked a lot about the Brave Arsenal. Let's go ahead and touch on the parade set again. What was kind of the inspiration behind that set and kind of bringing it forward now? This is kind of like a first full circle moment, rather, that I know Tom was mentioning. But why is Shax choosing now to equip us with this armor set?
I frankly wasn't as involved in those kind of conversations.
No, it's okay.
It was actually really
Here we go.
fun. Look beautiful. Kind of waiting to see how we're gonna end up looking in the end, because we weren't
Yeah.
really sure right away which armor set we were getting, and we
Here
were
we
just
go.
so excited to see him in See him in the chest.
Yeah, it was. I think honestly that first look at them in the key art. You know, obviously there was an initial glimpse,
Yeah.
and it's weird because even as good as they looked, they were almost like everyone was just immediately captivated. By
He's
Onslaught,
trying to get in the
immediately
light
captivated by,
to
like,
showcase the
is that
shader.
Blast Furnace in that Warlock's hands? Who knows?
If you're trying to bring back players' favorites, like there is so much nostalgia.
You should have loaded up an emote that doesn't require you to
Bring
sit.
that back and updating it a little bit. Like I still run the parade armor set on my character from time to time. So
Gotta have that classic look, obviously.
Yeah.
It's
And
pretty
obviously giving you a chance
badass.
to go and
The
check out
super black
doesn't
is
hurt
always,
either.
it's cool.
Looks very cool when you break it out of containment. Won't say much.
I mean, I'll be rocking the super black, but you
So
know,
let's go ahead and
for
take one more
the
quick run
true
through. So,
drip
is there anything
artist,
else, actually? So I know we've had a chance to
you
walk through
know,
the Brave Arsenal.
fashionistas
Tom, in
out
particular on your
there,
side,
and Destiny
we've gone ahead and
fans.
kind of gone around the horn over here. Is there anything
Super
about
Black
this kind of
ain't
new
the
set of
peak
weapons
of
and sort the role
fashion.
they
That's
play
just
into the light that's
throwing
gotta
an
be
all
excited about
black
kind of the
shader
overall
on.
sandbox
You know
now
what
that
I
we're gonna
mean?
have
That's
available to
not.
us?
That's not
I'm
the
really excited
pinnacle.
about
You got to be a little bit
the
more
quality of
creative
these
than that,
weapons
in
are-
my
are-
opinion.
They're not
It
god rolls,
it
but they're
does have a
pretty close
place and it
to
does
Like,
have
if
a
you
ranking in the
show
overall
up,
like best things
every
to
week and you
equip
do
while
the
playing
weekly quest, you're
Destiny
gonna get
for
something
sure,
that
but
is really pretty powerful.
it's not going to replace
And it's going to be
the
like, for example, just
it's
looking
not
at,
gonna,
like,
I don't think
the
it's going to
hammerhead here,
replace the
it's got rampaging,
satisfaction
killing
of like
Talion,
choosing the
that's
right
just
colored shader or
incredible
multiple
stuff for
shaders
PvE. Yeah, it just
and
never
multiple
stops firing,
ornaments
right?
and
Like,
what
and
have
also
you
increasing
to
damage
put
every time
together
you
a
take an
cool
enemy out,
looking
which is cool. And, like, I could look
a
at
cool looking
each
fit.
one of these weapons too, and they like I think we might have glossed over it earlier, but the edge transit with cascade point, like you get a kill and then you can dump the whole mag in like 2 or 3 seconds, which is really powerful. And I think people are going to find a lot of great synergies between these weapons. Like I was even like Mountaintop, Recluse, and Cascade edge transit felt great. Like I could like use the SMG while my Mountaintop is reloading, and then like getting kills with those activates Cascade Point, and I can swap over and dump the mag for edge transit. And like I could see similar things with Hammerhead and Forbearance, or with Elsie's rifle.
Yeah.
And then like there's also just some classic weapons here that I really miss that I'm really excited for Blast Furnace to be back, and I'm excited to see what it does to the meta with these being like relevant in the power game again and being something that is accessible to players new and old.
Yeah. Someone who spends a lot of time in the Crucible, I'm terrified already. Proctor, thank you very much for all the hard work on that. See you and yours, obviously. All right, so I think we're probably getting to a point now. We've gone ahead and checked out the rewards. We've checked out the new social space. We've checked out the Brave Arsenal. It's probably about time for us to go ahead and start wrapping things up here. Mr. Tom Farnsworth, when you get an opportunity, feel free to go ahead and rejoin us. Relinquish your hold from the throne world, obviously. This is so fast. Your jump ship was right in orbit, wasn't it?
Right here.
I hear it's lovely this time of year out there in the throne world.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's at Noah and Kelsey been keeping it warm for me in there.
That's true. All right, fair enough. Yeah, and again, we can use some sword logic later to expand it when the time comes. But for right now, we've gone ahead and done our job. Well, for starters, thank you all so much for taking time to join us to talk us through, obviously, the Hall of Champions, talk us through the Brave Arsenal, through everything with Into the Light. It's been a great show. So thank you guys for starters for taking the time to join us today.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Yeah, thanks.
Absolutely. And also, too, as a quick reminder, again, to everyone, we'll be back next week, the same Bungie time, same Bungie place, to have another live stream about everything, or some more stuff coming with Destiny 2 Into the Light, including some exotic mission, some exotic mission content and the craftable weapons that'll be available to them. Chat, I saw you mentioning some stuff about that potentially, so come back next week. Also, we'll be going to go ahead and walk through the PvP map pack as well. So if you want to see everything that's going to be coming in those 3 maps, next week will be your time. And there might be a few more additional surprises that we'll have.
Okay, so next week will be more PvP focused. They're going to show us the new maps.
Make sure you close with is, as a quick reminder, of course, with the arrival of the final shape, you'll be able to get 100 more slots in your vault. As you can go
100 more slots in the vault.
We put it to good use ourselves. We had some edge transit
bunch of
rolls.
edge
We knew that
transits.
this was the time and place to go ahead and slot them in there. So we now have those, thankfully, in safekeeping now for the arrival of the Witness.
Ready.
Never hurts. All right, everyone. Well, thank you all so much for taking the time to join us today. We'll see you back here next week at the same Bungie time, same Bungie place. But in the meantime, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and we'll see you all Starside.
And there you have it, Destiny 2 Into the Light dev stream number 2 with the preview of the upcoming content's weapon pool, Mountaintop, Recluse, Midnight Coup, Hammerhead, and raid weapons being available, Forbearance, Succession. So, hey, my thoughts, these weapons are great, right? I'm not sold on having current raid weapons available in this loot pool, but hey, some people don't have access to the raids. I don't know what percentage of the community that is, but at least it gives them an opportunity to pew with these weapons. But really, the stars of this show is the Mountaintop and Recluse, and Dead Transit to an extent. I'm very much looking forward to get my hands back on these weapons and just seeing how they feel in today's Destiny 2, specifically in the endgame, Grandmasters and what have you. I'm sure in all the other content they'll be fine, and they'll even feel overpowered to an extent. But you know, with the way our power creep is and how our power fantasy works out, Guardians shouldn't be complaining. You know, we're kick-ass across the board. You know, I know so some subclasses and what have you are more beneficial to certain classes, if you will, but overall, whether you're a hunter main, warlock main, titan main, you're feeling pretty strong in the Destiny 2 sandbox right now. If you're not, let me know why and how you're not feeling overpowered in the current Destiny 2 sandbox right now. Let us know in the comment section. I'm very curious to hear that. But thank you all so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this walkthrough and listen, and just my basic commentary and reaction to the second dev stream for Into the Light, as well as the latest update that we started at the beginning of the video. Hey, I'm looking for it. To me, it's all about content, man. The Onslaught activity, the Horde mode, I'm very much looking forward to get my hands on that. And you know, I hope I have a lot of fun with it, and it you know, really like draws me in. Obviously, just for being a completionist, I'm going to be doing it and collecting all the weapons just as a collector and as a completionist, as a overall Destiny 2 enthusiast. But you know, if it doesn't really click and I'm not having that much fun with it, who knows? I may not stick around and get all the weapons because I already have them. I don't really see too much variance out there with the Brave weapons that's really gonna like revolutionize my loadout, you know? So take it for what it is. It's free content, everyone has access to it, and you know, and it's a new loot pool, and who knows, maybe not immediately now, but as things get updated and changed with the TFS drop, it could be even stronger than what we're gonna experience them in 2 weeks. So as always, let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section. Thanks again for watching. Be safe, stay vigilant, and as always, may the light protect us all. Thank you for watching. Likes and shares are very much appreciated, and subscribe for more Destiny 2 content. Peace.